Is the world standing on the edge of a massive new war? February 28, 2026, in the early hours of the morning, explosions were reported across several locations inside Iran. Within minutes, videos began appearing online showing flashes in the sky and loud blasts near what were believed to be military facilities and nuclear infrastructure. According to multiple regional reports, the strikes were linked to a coordinated operation involving the United States and Israel. Officials in Washington and Tel Aviv claimed the attacks were aimed at stopping what they described as a growing security threat. But inside Iran, the reaction was very different. Iranian leaders called the strikes an act of aggression and a violation of their sovereignty. Across the country, people woke up to the sound of sirens and emergency broadcasts as the government promised that Iran would not remain silent. Western media quickly began spreading reports that Iran's leadership had been severely damaged by the strikes. Some rumors even claimed that the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, had been killed. But Iranian officials rejected those claims and appeared on national television to show that the government was still functioning. Messages from senior figures suggested that the country's leadership structure remained intact and that Iran would respond in its own time. In Tehran and other major cities, crowds gathered waving national flags and chanting slogans of resistance. The message from many citizens was clear: even if the country faces heavy pressure, Iran will not accept outside control. Analysts say this moment could become one of the most dangerous turning points in the Middle East in years. Iran has long warned that if its territory is attacked, the conflict will not stay limited to one country. And within hours of the strikes, reports began to emerge that drones had been launched toward Israeli territory. At the same time, missiles were reportedly fired toward American military bases located in several Arab countries that host foreign forces. Among the locations mentioned in early reports were bases in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. If confirmed, this would signal that the conflict is no longer just between two countries, but part of a much wider regional struggle. And the economic consequences may be just as serious as the military ones. One of the most critical points in the global energy system lies just off Iran's coast. The Strait of Hormuz. Nearly one-third of the world's oil shipments travel through this narrow waterway every single day. Iranian officials have repeatedly warned that if their oil exports are blocked or their infrastructure is attacked, they could close the strait to global traffic. And now, after the reported strike on Iran's Kharg Island oil facilities, those warnings are being taken more seriously than ever. Energy markets around the world are already reacting, with oil prices rising rapidly as traders fear possible disruptions. But this may only be the beginning. Because what is happening inside Iran is not just a military story. It is also the story of millions of ordinary people trying to survive in the middle of an escalating conflict. Reports suggest that more than 32 lakh people have already been forced to leave their homes in areas near potential targets. Families are moving toward safer regions, while emergency services struggle to handle the growing humanitarian pressure. Yet despite the fear and uncertainty, many Iranians say they believe their country will endure. For them, this conflict is not only about politics or strategy, but about national pride and independence. But the situation is changing rapidly. In the next part of this series, we will look at how the conflict is spreading beyond Iran's borders, how Hezbollah and Lebanon has entered the confrontation, and why the global economy may soon feel the full shock of this crisis. What happens next could affect not just the Middle East, but the entire world. Stay with us for part 2.